Hey guys, this is Holland with Wolverine.com, and Michigan has scored another big commitment on the recruiting trail. Before we dive into this new commit, I want to remind you guys to subscribe to the Wolverine.com today for just $29.99 until August 31st of this year. That gets you premium insider recruiting information, team information, basketball, transfer portal activity, hockey, everything you need for Michigan athletics over at thewolverine.com for just $29.99 until August 31st. That also includes access to our message board community over on the Fort with more than 8,000 unique individual users. Come join the discussion and join thewolverine.com today for just $29.99 until August 31st. All right, guys, Michigan has scored another huge commitment on the recruiting trail. Literally, the Wolverines landed monster offensive tackle Andrew Sprague, 6'8", 270 pounds, out of Kansas City, Missouri at Rockhurst High School. Sprague is one of the most touted recruits in the class, ranked as the number 9 offensive tackle nationally and the number 135 overall prospect in the country, per the On3 industry ranking, which is an average of the 4 major recruiting services. Sprague picked Michigan over offers from the likes of Notre Dame, LSU, USC, Oregon, Auburn, Penn State, Texas A&M, Wisconsin, and many, many more. Sprague is a big-time prospect, man. He is a guy that I have really been a fan of since last year when he made multiple visits to Ann Arbor. Before we talk a little bit about his game, though, let's talk about how this recruitment kind of happened. So Sprague, like I said, visited Michigan on multiple occasions last year. He told me a few weeks ago that he wasn't planning to return to Michigan for a spring visit and instead was going to opt for a summer official visit. Sprague even dropped a big list, a top 10, heading into the spring game, so about a week and a half before the spring game. Then his recruitment kind of flipped on a dime. He was a guy that said, you know what, I just dropped my top 10, but I am going to make a visit to Michigan this spring. Forget the official visit. Let me go ahead and make the unofficial visit right now for that spring game. And so that was a great job by Michigan offensive line coach Sharon Moore by getting him to alter his plans, speed up his timeline a bit, and getting him on campus and closing. So, like I said, Sprague wasn't set to visit, had a change of heart, decided to visit for the spring game. And on that visit, it kind of just seemed like a formality. You know, in the days leading up to the spring game, Sprague started trending on the recruiting prediction machine over at On3, largely because I put a prediction in. So I felt really strongly going into the weekend, and obviously Moore and company were able to seal the deal. And look, it's not really hard to sell high-level offensive linemen on playing at the University of Michigan. Coach Moore has done a fantastic job of developing and coaching the offensive line. He has won back-to-back Joe Moore Awards. Michigan is very offensive line friendly. I mean, guys that are big, physical, and like to play with a mean streak are going to want to play at a place like Michigan where, you know, it's smash football, as Sharon Moore likes to call it. And Andrew Sprague and the others committed, for that matter, like Ben Roebuck, Luke Hamilton, those guys really embody that smash mentality. They are big, physical road graders. And so it was an easy pitch to Sprague. Michigan, again, was able to close over the weekend. So another fantastic job here by Sharon Moore, who now has a rich man problem, I guess. He's a guy with 3 offensive line commits and a lot of guys trending towards Michigan. You have Blake Frazier, who's an on-300 prospect and a Michigan legacy, just named Michigan in his top 5. I think it's fair to say that Michigan has the lead there. I think it's fair to say that Michigan has the lead for on-300 interior offensive lineman Max Anderson. I think it's fair to say Michigan has the lead for on-300 tackle Bennett Warren coming out of his spring game visit. Michigan also wants to take a true center in this class, and there are several other highly touted offensive linemen that have visited or are visiting. You had 4-star prospect DeAndre Carter visit last month. You had on 300 prospect Fletcher Westfall visit last month. You have the nation's top offensive tackle Brandon Baker visiting this month. So, I mean, there's a lot of guys on the board. Could this class get up to 6 offensive linemen? It's looking that way. Could it get up to 7? I mean, I'm not sure how the numbers would work on that, but that's certainly a possibility as well. But either way, Sharon Moore just doing such a fantastic job. I'm not sure how many of you guys remember this, but last spring, Coach Moore was catching some flack amongst the fan base for not recruiting at the level that he used to recruit at. Remember, Sharon Moore, a few years ago was the ace recruiter on staff before they really shuffled the staff and got younger and brought in new guys. Sharon Moore was the go-to guy on the recruiting trail. Of course, his on-the-field duties changed going from tight ends coach to offensive line coach, which is a step up and, is arguably a more difficult job. But then on top of that, he added co-offensive coordinator duties last year. His first year doing that, he also had a newborn child. So there was a lot going on with Moore just on the field personally and having to recruit at a high level. But, once the summer hit last year, he really turned it up. He had one of the best recruiting wins of the 2023 cycle, landing Evan Link. And he's been phenomenal here in 2024 so far, landing 4-star offensive lineman Luke Hamilton, 3-star upside guy in Ben Roebuck, and now a true top 150 guy here in Andrew Sprague. So what is Michigan getting in Andrew Sprague? They are getting, like I said, a towering tackle. This is a kid that's 6'8", legit 6'8", 270 pounds, can easily play at 300. I'm really excited to see what Michigan strength coach Ben Herbert can do with his frame. But aside from just being really big and tall, Sprague isn't just a lumbering guy out there. He's very athletic for his height and his size. He's a guy with, very deceptively quick feet. He also has tremendous length, obviously. Being 6'8" does a great job of keeping guys at bay and pass pro. But something that really catches my attention when looking at him on film is when he gets to that second level or his team throws a screen pass and he has to go in space and block a linebacker. I mean, he looks great moving at 6'8", 270 pounds. A lot of times when you're that big, you can have slower feet, you can struggle to get moving, but Sprague can go, and that's one of the reasons he's so highly touted and had so many offers, is because along with that size, you have the feet, you have the athleticism, you have the length, and of course, I mean, he has tremendous brute strength as well. You can see that on film. He's physical. He loves to put guys in the dirt. I mean, even at 270, not even being close to 300 right now, you can see he's just so much stronger and imposes his will at the high school level. Like I said, I'm really excited to see what he becomes under Ben Herbert. I mean, this is a guy that can get stronger, that can get heavier, and that's really scary. His film reminds me a lot of Andrew Gentry at the high school level, and before Gentry went on his mission, he was a top 100 prospect. I think Andrew Sprague's ceiling is top 100. He's a guy who's on 3 profile pictures, just him in a uniform. Like, nobody's seen him in person yet. I think once he competes at maybe some high-level camps this offseason, then you could see him really rise up those rankings. So another fantastic land for Michigan. The Wolverines have a top 5 recruiting class in 2024. For more news on everything Michigan recruiting, subscribe to thewolverine.com today for just $29.99 until August 31st.